What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the name Jon Bon Jovi? Odds are it's probably this. That's the Jon Bon Jovi most people know. He's frontman of one of the most iconic and successful bands of all time. But once you get to know Jon, you realize there is so much more than the person we see on the stage.
We know Jon as an international icon, but Jon started out from a middle-class family, and Jon never forgot where he came from.
I grew up on his music. It's like part of the soundtrack of my childhood. But now that I've gotten to know the man and the work he does through his foundation, this is a guy that has thrown himself into making a difference for others who are being left behind.
Rather than buying the big yacht and cruising around the world the rest of his life, he would rather spend a good chunk of his life and time and money trying to make the world a better place.
When we started the foundation, it was under the guise of being Robin Hood. One night out of the hotel window I was staying in Philadelphia, I saw a homeless guy sleeping on the street. And it hit me right then and there. I said, this is an issue that affects everyone.
Jon is acutely aware of the struggles that most of us in our country go through. And Jon continues to give back, but also provide a path forward.
When Jon says, both with his time and with his treasure, that he wants to end youth homelessness, people take that seriously, and it galvanizes a movement, which is exactly what's happened.
The Soul Foundation has helped provide over 500 units of affordable housing and shelter in 10 different states.
The Jon Bon Jovi Soul Homes has just had the most spectacular outcomes and have made such a difference, which is really what Jon wants to do, is provide a meaningful opportunity for young adults to succeed.
It's a way for me to create my own life. This is just a platform for me to start my own life. It's nothing like having a home to call your own home.
Camden was really seen as the most crime-riddled city in America at one time, and poverty levels were off the charts, education was down in the bottom, and we had been told by people in real positions of power, flat out, not to waste our time and money.
When I became the mayor, I was elected in 2009, and I remember one of my prayers was, God, I need you to send help. And I first met Jon Bon Jovi back in 2010, and the first project that he invested in was creating vibrancy in the neighborhood. And then most recently, we worked on the Joseph's House, which is emergency shelter housing for our homeless population. Jon's presence just created a sense of hope where there was hopelessness and despair, and that, people seeing Jon Bon Jovi come and visit Camden, and that he believed in the possibilities of the city, created that sense of, we can do this.
When you really look back on it, food is even a broader topic, that it doesn't matter who you are, homeless or not, people need to eat.
In 2011, the foundation opened the first of 2 JBJ Soul Kitchens.
It serves American regional delicious cooking, 3-course meal, all homemade, farm to table, like all the trendy restaurants all over the country. It just happens to have an opportunity. If you're not able to pay for dinner, you can let them know in advance, and as long as you're willing to volunteer, donate, give in advance an hour of your time, you get a voucher for a meal for 1 to 4 people.
This is a place where they can come just to have some fellowship, where they can sit with their families, have a meal, where maybe they haven't had that normalcy.
John was more interested in not just looking at someone and saying, well, you need a meal, so here's a meal. And so this isn't about a handout, it's more about someone who can find their value in what they can give back.
John is such a passionate, caring person, and his loyalty to his community runs very deeply.
When Hurricane Sandy caused devastation to John's home state of New Jersey, he immediately rushed there. He persuaded a local councilman to let him pass police barricades so he could see the damage and offer hope.
And as he showed me the devastation, I just shook my head in wonder, and I said, what can I do? He goes, I couldn't even get people to the hospital because the ambulance was wrecked. I said, how much is an ambulance? And he told me, he said, just buy the ambulance. And he said, really? Really buy an ambulance? I go, buy the ambulance. So I bought him an ambulance. It was no big deal to me, but by the time he would have gotten government allocated funds, it would have taken him a year plus. I couldn't see the people in my community suffering like that. So it was just an opportunity that was given to me because of all the good fortune I've had in my life. And we did it. And damn it, he's got an ambulance.
I can't think of a more deserving person of the Leadership Award because John leads in so many ways. John is a leader in the entertainment industry, but for my part, he's a leader in fighting hunger and homelessness in our country.
He has a heart for people. I think he's very compassionate and caring, and he sees where he can make a difference and help others.
John believes in being helium for kids' dreams. He wants to give people an opportunity, the same opportunity that he had.
He is just a beautiful human being thoroughly, and he seems to understand that you are defined by life not by your celebrity, but by your significance, not by your popularity, but by the purpose you are living.
He is just the driving force behind all of us. He works so hard, and that's kind of what I'm always telling people when they're like, oh, complaining. I said, you know what? Nobody works harder than my husband. So.
You know what I like to tell people? You'll never feel as good as you do when you give back. So let me tell you how to get higher than high and drunker than drunk and feeling better about who you are.